Johnson, and this is focused on Liberia. Hit it! From Cape Mount to Cape Palmer, mountain back to Atlantic Ocean, upon me hills to Pocondre, to educate, elevate, and promote. My name is Ahmed Johnson, and this is focused on Liberia. Hit it! From Cape Mount to Cape Palmer, mountain back to Atlantic Ocean, upon me hills to Pocondre, to educate, elevate, and promote. Talk about home affairs, hey, in diaspora, current affairs, hey, reliable information, history, talking about culture, yeah, politics, education, entertainment, business, sports, advertisement, articulation. Focus on Liberia. Focus on Liberia. Focus on Liberia. From Monday to Sunday.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Focus on Liberia, FOL on Kia Radio. Tonight, we are honored to have Mr. Ahmed Sirleaf, Chairman of the proposed People's Action Party, PAP, joining us to discuss the vision, the strategies, and the unique role PAP hopes to play in Liberia's evolving political landscape. With so much at stake and the political field more crowded than ever, tonight's conversation promises to illuminate new ideas and perspectives for our listeners. Mr. Sirleaf, thank you for being here. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Dennis. It's my honor to be here. And I want to say hello to your viewing audience and those in Radio Land and all our would-be partisans and supporters and my fellow Liberians across the length and breadth of Liberia and abroad.
Thank you. Joining me also at our Kia Radio 95.9 FM is Mr. James T. Wakwe. James, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mr. Jai, and I'd like to say welcome to our guest this evening.
We want to welcome all our viewers from across the globe. Mr. Sirleaf, congratulations for being the organizing chairman of this proposed PAP. How do you feel tonight?
I feel humbled. I am very honored to have been selected by the organizing committee of the proposed People's Action Party, PAP, to lead an effort to register and have fully certificated a political movement, a political party that is unlike any in the history of Liberia. And I'm really happy to be here today to discuss, to present our vision and to talk about why PAP now, why the People's Action Party, and in the history of Liberia at this particular juncture, and to answer questions that viewers and skeptics and supporters alike may have.
Mr. Sirleaf, we know you as someone who has been on FOL, or governance advisor. Today you are in the capacity of an organizing chairman. So permit me if I say, well, can you please, or could you please introduce yourself and share what inspired you to take on the role of chairman or the organizing chairman of the proposed People's Action Party?
Thank you, Dennis. Yes, I have, I told people focus on Liberia. FOL is my home network. I was known to have been one of your panelists, regular panelists on Tough Talking Thursday, where we discuss policy matters, serious issues affecting Liberia and suggesting solutions to policymakers and Liberians of all walks of life. And so I'm really honored to be here in a different, more serious, not that FOL is not serious, but more serious capacity, because this is a national duty. I see this as an obligation. I see this as an enormous, awesome responsibility placed upon my shoulders by my fellow Liberians, my fellow citizens, both at home and abroad, who, for whatever reason, saw something in me to say of all of us. Some of them very, very, competent, more qualified individuals who could have led this process to work with the election commissions and appropriate authorities in the country to register and introduce this party, this idea, this movement to the people of Liberia. To your specific question about you're here in a different role. Who are you? It's true. Some people know me, some don't know me, so it makes sense to talk about myself a little bit, which is a difficult thing to do. I don't usually look forward to talking about myself and introducing myself as such. But I first and foremost see myself and consider myself as a son of Liberia, a Liberian citizen who cares deeply about his country, who has worked for many years to see his country progress, to see his country extricate itself out of the complicated and difficult conditions in which it finds itself today. And we can talk about some of what I've done to ensure that, to do just exactly that. I also say I'm a son of Western Liberia, and that's not cliche or some political rhetoric, truly by lived experience and family. My mother came from Grand Cape County, so my maternal grandparents' side are from Gaula district, the Kiadis in Grand Cape County, and the Nyains. My mother was, they call them Nyei, Nyei. The women called Buddha, if you're familiar with them. They are my uncles from my mother's side. So I spent time in Makboma, our maternal ancestral home, with my grandmother, my uncles and aunts and relatives over there. And then I was born in Tottenham, Bomi Hill, Bomi County, where my parents settled and did business and worked for many years, where we have property and so on. So some of my formative years were in hills, working, selling things on my head, between vehicles, parking stations, mechanic shops and markets, everywhere, pushing wheelbarrows and things like that. Those are some of my formative year experiences. And then my parents bought a land in our original home county of Bapulu, because my ancestral home is actually a town called Medina near Bopolu City, which my great-grandfather, Philip Sirleaf, established and bequeathed to the Sirleaf clan. So though I didn't live in Medina for a long time, only went there occasionally, but my father purchased very large farmland in a place called Gongbea District in Bapolu County. We still have the farm there today. Though not fully developed, but my sister Fatu and others are there. We still maintain that farmland. I spent years there, just like I did in Makboma in Grand Cape County, doing farm work. Being with my relatives, my siblings, and the people in that area, part of our country. And finally, the Sirleaf people, they're spread across Bapulu and Bomi Swamaka district. If you're familiar with that part of the country, we have another ancestral home called Maka Town. Maka was the district headquarters of the Swamaka district. And so I spent some years with family there as well, growing up. And then came to Logan Town, attended Boswan Junior High School before, going to refugee life. So from refugee life to scholar, professional, and some of the things I've talked about in between, you can imagine a young person growing up, being an unaccompanied youngster in a refugee camp, a Waterloo refugee camp in Sierra Leone. I spent years there, where I finished high school at the Peninsula Secondary School in a place called Waterloo, near Freetown, and then began university briefly at Forobe College before going to Ghana to yet another refugee camp, and eventually ending up here, in the U.S. I can hear you, Dennis. I'm happy
Thank
to
you.
specific questions about my background if you still have.
Yeah, and I want to ask more questions on your political side of it, because normally before you play on or before you go professional, you play for some teams, right?
Of
So I
course.
want to see whether you were aligned with any political party. I understand from reading extensively about knowing you did some work for the CDC, you did some work for the Unity Party. Are you a member, or were you part or member of any of these political parties, or any political party in Liberia before being opportune to be the organizing chairman of the PAP?
Thank you, Dennis. That is a very, very important question, actually, a very relevant question to this discussion. And you'll understand later on in the conversation. First, I've not ever been a card-holding registered member of any political party in Liberia. However, I have supported and provided technical assistance and support to various political parties and political figures and individuals in the country, because I'm a Liberianist. I'm a Liberian, as I said in the introduction, who believes in the progress of Liberia. So if I see a Liberian whom I believe cares about the country, wants to do some of the things that I envision for our country, I support them. I join them. So, for example, you mentioned CDC. In CDC, we is essentially started that party here in Minnesota. I'm currently out in the U.S., so I'm in the Twin Cities area here in Minneapolis. In Brooklyn Park, there are some folks around the country, around the world, who are listening to me, know exactly what I'm talking about. It was an idea, just emanating from this Iraqi National Congress after the war in Iraq, diaspora Iraqi coming back to Iraq with the support of the U.S. government, established the Iraqi National Congress. That's where the idea Congress came from, CDC. We supported that, and that work in here in Minnesota. And in 2005, during the election, you can talk to people like Abraham Kroma, Piso Sedi Tar, and others. I was the lead author who drafted a foreign policy direction for CDC and even that national security policy, and advised them that it was necessary way back then, just fresh out of college, early in graduate school. And then in 2017, I was working for an international government in Liberia. A friend of mine approached me and said, look, with your background in political consulting, political advising, we want you to help Vice President candidate Joseph Boakai's campaign. And so I resigned my job, with that agency, and went and supported President Boakai's campaign at that time. Conducting workshops for his senior campaign officials, and going to places like Banga, Lofa, Bomi on his farm. I met with the president twice weekly, provided briefing papers, consulted and advised him on various things, including running mate selection and so forth and so on. There are people in the government today who are very aware of what I'm talking about here. And even 2023, I didn't go home to campaign per se, because I had an international professional commitment. I was traveling around working, but I was in WhatsApp groups providing strategic advice and policy guidance and campaign advice and so on. And finally, 2018, when I supported President Boakai's campaign, didn't win. President Weah, then president-elect, won. So I was approached again by my old CDC friends and said, look, you're here in the country, we need help. We need you to help with our presidential transition process. We need some guidance. And they placed me in a subcommittee on governance. And I remember we were every night on 9th Street, there was some apartment drafting briefing papers for the president-elect. And then the final joint presidential transition final report, actually, we had to draft that report to compile all the subcommittees reports and briefing notes that were turned over by the Sirleaf administration through advice that we provided. The UN, I remember UNDP and others approached our committee and said they wanted to draft a final joint presidential report for Liberia. It was the report that the outgoing president Sirleaf signed along with incoming President George Weah signed on Inauguration Day. And there were some, Liberian professionals who were very offended by that. I could call names here, who said, look, we have our own people. These people don't have UN and others don't have to be doing everything for us. So again, I was tapped to lead a small team that drafted that final joint presidential final report. So I was the lead author of that report that was signed on Inauguration Day. Why am I telling you all of these stories, Dennis? I'm explaining this to say, as we will talk shortly about the PAP is necessary because I've done everything professionally and in my powers and as a citizen of the Republic of Liberia to contribute and build existing institutions, change it from personality-based political parties or institutions to support Liberia. And so it didn't work. And so we're here today. That's why we're here. And I'm looking forward to the conversation. You're muted. Can't hear you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Sirleaf. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are just joining us, this is Focus on Liberia Live on Kia Radio FM 95.9. Our guest is the organizing chairman of the proposed PAP. Mr. Sirleaf, before I take you over to James to ask a question, the political landscape, anytime you hear about the PAP, the first question on people's mind is the political landscape in our country is already crowded.
Right.
With established parties and new, with new entrants, right? Mm-hmm. Why introduce the People's Action Party at this particular time?
And they are right. The field is crowded. There's so many moribund political parties in the country. But the PAP was the only party that was absent. The only kind of party, the only kind of ideology and ideas that's never existed in Liberia. And therefore, there was that critical gap at this juncture in our country's history. And so that was one necessity that the PAP. What do I mean? Look, as I alluded earlier, Janice, if you follow Liberian politics, the culture of political parties in our country, and this translates to governance as well, it's been based on individualism, personality, the imperial presidency, as they say, because that's the political culture that translates into governance, right? Whereby one individual who may have resources, may have money or whatnot, or may have ambition, wants to run for president or something, puts up money, brings people together. And our people are gullible, unfortunately, and people gather around them. They hear this person, they sing praise songs to them, battle cries to them. It's about them. It's not about institutionalism, like the Kenyan professor who taught at Columbia once wrote, constitutions of African constitutions without constitutionalism. So too in Liberia, we have political parties that are individualism, political parties without institutionalism. We're trying to change that because nothing is sustainable that's based on a single individual, on a vision of a single individual, unless that vision is a vision for the country. But if it's a vision about their own ambition or their own ego, then it's rotten. It's not what Liberia deserves at this time. And so the People's Action Party is necessary because our ideology, we call ourselves a social democrats, a social democratic, pragmatic, action-oriented, free market political party. What do we mean by that? This is an idea, an ideology that has built other societies, other countries. In 1954, a man named Lee Kuan Yew established the Singaporean People's Action Party and took that country from a peri-urban, farm community to a upper middle income industrialized country today that competes globally economically through the ideas of clean government. You are corrupt. The highest ranking official in the government who is corrupt, we prosecute you. We encourage and inspire the people, the farmers, the peasants, and so forth and so on, elevate them, build housing units, dignify our citizens, industrialize our society, and that society took off. So we reach out to them. Say, look, what did you do? Your ideas seem to have worked. And that party continues to be the dominant political institution in Singapore today. And so we were inspired by what it did there and in other countries around the world. So look, in Liberia, we have to change this culture of individual-based politics. We need a political institution that is above and beyond any one individual, that no one particular person is higher than the other person. Though I'm the organizing chair, because by law, under our new election law and National Elections Commission regulations, the organizing committee, which comprises one citizen from each county of the country, come together and they choose an organizing chair, who then is the chair of record, who liaises with the election commission and does who's responsible agent of record. And that person happened to have been me. So the idea is, look, PAP is what has been lacking. And the PAP is here now, is here to stay. It's now about 2029. It's not about Ahmed Sirleaf. It's not about any one individual. I can tell you that. We are building an institution where we train people, public sector leaders, young people, which is why part of our party structure, as you will learn later on, includes a Leadership Development Institute, LDI. And we learn that from the folks in Singapore. You have to train people who pass through the ranks of the party, become competent bureaucrats, competent technocrats, statecraft people who know how to run public sector institutions. Who, if somebody wants to run for office in PAP on PAP's ticket, we're not just willy-nilly going to accept them, run on our ticket, bring some bunch of money. If that's what it was about, I wouldn't have been associated with this, Dennis. It will be people whom we will go around their communities to test their characters and see if they're really there with their people. If they are, we train them. Look, this is how to run for office. What is your vision for running for office? Do you just want to get rich and have vehicles be called honorable around here? Or do you truly care about your community? So these are the kinds of things we're talking about. You want to be a minister, you have to know what it means to be a minister and how to run a ministry and run an entity and agency. You want to be president, we have to put you through a PAP test. If you pass that, only then the folks will vote for you to be the standard bearer, for example. So we're serious about this. We're not just one other political party that's around the block that's coming to add to the already crowded field.
Right. You mentioned critical gaps. Right. That's key word that stood out to me. Mm-hmm. So talk to my auntie in Bannersville.
Right.
What specific gaps or needs in our political system is PAP meant to address? The person everywhere conducted a opinion poll is at CEO today. Those guys are at the attire shop. The guys are in the market. What are those critical gaps? I want you to speak to them directly.
Okay, so Janice, look, President Boakai, I just mentioned I supported his campaign. He's someone I respect. He's someone whose political career I've supported. I've put professional sweat in it. And people say, oh, you're an unofficial Boakai advisor. That's because I'm a Liberian who cares about the country. If the president's vision truly reflects what I think need to be happening in the country, I support you. PAP is not here to be engaged with what I call negative politics, yelling and insulting people and just criticizing. No, we will advance solutions, suggestions to the government. If the government is doing an existing administration, because government is the government of the Republic of Liberia, right? So if an administration is doing well, where they're doing well, we hear them, we point it out. If there are gaps, if it's an administration that listens, we will advance solutions. So for instance, part of our LDI, Leadership Development Institute, and our National Bureau for Research and Policy, we intend to conduct research whereby the AID, the Agenda for Inclusive Development, PAP will have its own version that the party actually conducted research and has a position on the direction of the country. on the direction of development issues and development agenda. If it's decentralization, what's the PAP position there? If it is, a public sector investment, electricity, power, energy, in the environment, tourism, but what is the PSP's party's position on this? The issue papers and things like that. What we're doing is we're saying to the farmer somewhere in Kokoya or somewhere in Bopulu, that listen, you count, this is your party, the people's own party. We go around, conduct research, talk to our people, study them, live with them, see what they're doing, and then take that and put it in some paper and say, look, this is what our people lack, this is what they need. The healthcare sector, for instance, Dennis, look, I travel frequently around West Africa when I'm in Liberia. Anytime I'm on a flight from Accra to Monrovia, you have a bunch of people, mostly middle-class people who are coming from hospitals, who have health issues. They've gone to Ghana to hospital. Oh, I went to the hospital. Why? We have professionals. We have trained doctors and nurses in our country. But our health sector, people don't trust them. They don't believe in it because we lack the appropriate resources and training of our professionals to carry out healthcare delivery. Sometimes the very politicians who corrupt the system, plunder the system, are the ones who are going health tourists going to Johannesburg, Dubai, United States, India, and Ghana for healthcare, whereby a man Mary or man Lopu in Banga, she can't afford a ticket to go to Accra when she has kidney problem. She needs an eye surgery. Why? Why in God's name should that be happening under our watch? That is it beats my imagination. As someone who has been blessed with education, has traveled, has exposure, and I'm alive and young and have energy, I can't allow that to happen. So these are the gaps. People come and try, they just marginally make some difference. President Sirleaf came, she took the country from a conflict period, stabilized, really did some of these software things like build integrity institutions and really try to put us back on track, right? Because we had destroyed our country. During the war years, we had destroyed the fabric, the physical infrastructure, but also the social bonds. That social cohesion doesn't exist. There's fraction. People are angry in the country. Look, from the pen driver, the motorbike riders, to the person in the office, they're all angry because they're not doing well. The country is not doing well. That's why in PAP we say together we build, together we prosper. That's our motto. That's our slogan. Why are we saying that? We're going to truly be a people's party. This is not some rhetoric. We say, look, Dennis, we believe in people, not power. We believe in service, not status, and in results, not rhetoric. That's why the action is in the party's name. In the people's with the apostrophe, People's Party is in the party's name for a reason. The gap is my Mary has no ownership. The person at shoe factory in Ghana'sville has no ownership in what was happening in Central Monrovia with these political parties. Why? Because during election time, candidates come to them with bags of rice, of t-shirts, and those kinds of goodies and give them handouts. Essentially, they're buying their votes, and then they go away, they win, they don't come back, they don't govern at all, they don't come back to our people. They're languishing there. People are dying from curable diseases. Our children are languishing, they're riding motorbikes because the education system is not serving them well. These are the gaps. Dennis, you and I should not allow that to happen.
Thank you. James.
Okay, so I'd like to again thank our guest for a very brilliant introduction and responding to those questions. Well, always there are some critics about the issue of establishment of new political parties with the existing ones, and already considering the issue of how the country is going. So, how do you respond to people who believe that establishing another political party is a reason or one of the reasons for the division, the confusion in the country, because one after another, same results, same old thing. So, how do you respond to people who believe that these things are contributing to the division and confusion in the country?
Look, James, I agree with you. The existing political parties are, with all due respect, with people who are in these parties may be well-intentioned. I know a lot of, like I said, I've done work to support CDC, to support Unity Party candidate Baca and others. I even work with people who are advising Mr. Cummings. So you can see I cut across, right? I'm an equal opportunity Liberianist. I'm trying to really support my country. But what we have currently, James, in our country, these are many institutions that are about individuals. They're not institutions. They're not political institutions. So I'll give you an example. When last did you hear from a particular political party in Liberia that issued a white paper on a major national issue? Let's take the drug crisis, for instance. Let's take the massive failure in WAS in the education, high school, leaving certificate, West African exam, for instance. Let's take what's happening at our hospital, in our healthcare system, for instance. When last you heard from CDC or Unity Party or another party to say, look, here is our governance position on these issues. Here are solutions. We believe if the administration does X, Y, Z, we will alleviate these problems. When last did you see that? When has any political party presented to you that this is our governance plan for Liberia that constitutes the vision? Because political manifestos largely are drawn during or close to elections, when political parties field candidates and say, look, these are policy prescription directions and how we will govern the country. You can have a broader, high, a high-ranking manifesto that basically states our ideology, and we're developing that at the PAP. But the question you raise is, look, you have quantity over quality. We want to address the quality question. We want to address the institutionalism question that has been lacking in Liberia, whereby people don't establish political party based on best ideas and actions, based on ideologies that truly is there to address the country's vexing problems. That's not what we have. You don't have an institution, a political party training its people how to become managing directors, how to become some director in some agency, how to become a teacher or a nurse manager somewhere. You do not have that. You don't have that. All you have is electoral vehicles. During election time, political parties become active. They're not even year-round institutions. So we're saying PAP is necessary, and the PAP is here to be a year-round institution that will be in the rural areas. Don't mind I'm wearing some, tie and some fancy shirt and maybe sitting around with glasses because I have eyes problem. That, our people will fold our sleeves and wear t-shirts and wear boots and go around the country like we've done already. So I'm here to tell you, this is not some rhetoric. Ahmed Sirleaf can talk, but I'm not here to just engage in another fine English discussion here. I'm here to tell you that this is a movement. It's on the rise. It's unstoppable. Liberian people will fuel it. Not just hear about it, they will fuel it in the villages, in Lofa, in Nimba, in Bapolo, in Bomi, in Cape Town, across the country. We mean business. We're not just yet another party that you just hear about, and then election time, and then we go away. No, this will be a year-round active institution that's attracting multinational corporations, that has investment concerns and going concerns and business interests as far as the law allows. That's partnering with other institutions, think tanks, academic institutions. We want to know what's happening in other regions. I mean, the diamond revolution in Botswana, for instance, from 1966, how did they use stones from the ground to turn it into schools above the ground, right? How the Nyerere in Tanzania, the African socialism, how did they make Tanzania's education system the best education system in Africa, right? In Nkrumah in 1957, the Pan-Africanism, industrializing Ghana, building factories and institutions. There have been generations who have risen to the cause of their countries, who have answered their citizenship obligations, their citizenship responsibilities to their societies. We haven't done that in Liberia. And I'm here to submit that the People's Action Party is here to rise to its citizenship obligations.
James, hold on one second before you come here again. Let me build up on that question. Okay. So Mr. Sirleaf, you told us that you've done some work for the Unity Party, for the CDC, for the ANC. Are you saying you didn't find a place in those parties to introduce the ideas that you're telling us now that warranted a new political vehicle?
Dennis, I've had it, and this is a legitimate question. Why don't you fix an existing party? Why do you need another party? Is this about ego? Is it about another person? Those are very, very, very legitimate concerns. But I'm telling you, when an institution is about a person, it's not about a vision, or it's not about a country truly. It's not about institutionalism. Because, okay, so people in the village, what are you talking about institutionalism, right? The way you build that, Dennis, how is this machine, what are the motorbikes or keke or vehicle? Because it has engine, anyone can get in there and run and drive it, right? So when you build an institution that has policies, that has ideology, it has principles, it has objectives, and its discipline is training its people, the message is there. This is what we're about. This is what we're here to do. If you want to do it, be here. If you can't do this, then this is not a home for you. Anybody you put there will run that institute. Tomorrow's another chairman will come, will run the PAP well. But that doesn't exist in these other parties, which I have supported in various ways. And it wasn't my place to impose on people. I told you, if you drafted a foreign policy document, a national security document for a party, that's serious. You engage in serious discussions with folks, and then you advise them. And if you didn't see that come to fruition, they didn't listen. During the transition, look, Dennis, I did more than just draft a national transition final report. I consulted and supported the government, the George Weah administration at that time, to come to office, to confirm that people, to really transition from Sirleaf to running a country. All right. Some of the advice fell on deaf ears. I'm not throwing anybody under the bus. I'm saying we're here for positive politics. You're doing the right thing. We support you. There's gap. We advance solutions, and we advise you to move forward. That's the kind of opposition politics that PAP will be advancing here. So we did that. And the officials and leaders didn't think those ideas were viable. It didn't happen. It didn't happen. I'll give you a typical example. So I worked for USAID for 5 years or so. I just come from coordinating major donor events, working in the donor community in Liberia, sitting across the table from the highest office in our land to the bureaucrat or the technician there, any minister you can think of. And then there I was helping the Weah administration transition to take over the country, And a minister is suggesting that, listen, let's go to City Hall. We present to these donors low-hanging fruits. This is what the president wants to do. 30,000 young people sweeping the street, brushing the road. I said, no, that's not how donors work. With all due respect, may I suggest, because I've just come from doing this thing for 5 years. No, and they said, no, listen, Mr. Sirleaf, this is a different political dispensation here, right? And so those kinds of things happen in spaces. And when that happens, that doesn't help the cause. It doesn't help the country. And because people's egos get in the way, that they're so educated, they so know what they're doing, and therefore you ought to get out of the way. You can only try. If it doesn't work, introduce an idea and an institution, build a tool, model it for folks. Maybe then they'll come together and say, look, let's work together and really do it this way and see if it works better than the way we've been doing it in the past.
Okay, so Mr. Sirleaf, most of these things you have said are not new to Liberians. So the hospital, the reaching out to people in the different counties, health care services, policy reforms and things. These are things Liberians have been hearing for more than 2-3 decades. But there seem to be no change, and things seem to be the same. So what exactly, what is that fundamental change or difference are you going to bring that all the political parties are now bringing? Because, like you said, Unity Party will go and make some promises only during the campaign. The CDC,
not just Unity Party. I didn't say Unity Party.
In other political parties, right? In other political parties. So to put it that way, in other political parties, they'll make promises but then they do not fulfill those promises. But you have come, like you say, with new plans. So what difference, right? What are some of those fundamental differences that you have that Liberians can look up to you and say, okay, yes, we see the change, we see the difference in this party?
James, we will be honest. Action is in our name. We want to act more than we talk. That's really what we're acting in presenting concrete solutions. Studying the country. It's our home. We know our problems. Liberia's problem is not knowing what to do. It's really acting. That lack of true action, that dispensing your citizenship. Look, citizenship is like a sword, right? It has two sides. You have rights. People always just advance my right under the law, my right under the constitution. What about your responsibilities? What about your obligation to your country? Your responsibility, your obligations to your fellow citizens. You feel comfortable seeing your people languaging in abject poverty? You seem comfortable building a mansion in a community where people toilet outside. People live in zinc shacks. The road to your house is even impossible. So you are sowing genuine hatred and jealousy, right? You go to some community, you see the most fancy house. You enter that house as though you're living in a foreign country. You just step outside and see how our people live outside. Do you accept that kind of condition, James? You shouldn't. You shouldn't accept that conditions. So we're saying, look, it seems that we am talking, but we're here to act. And you see it in our action. You see it, we start acting this Saturday. We just acquired a property in Congo Town. Folks are going there to clean their property and clean the environment, the neighborhood in there. We're going to be acting. You go waterside, clean the place. What are you doing as the party? Are you helping the people to do some farming work? Are you introducing some technology or bringing people, companies, organizations that are interested in investing in your country, working with the appropriate authorities to really implement some year-round projects that can hire people, employ young people, that can train people, bring about skills? Have you seen any party doing such things in Liberia? Have you seen any example? Give me an example. The most active time for political parties is campaign time. It means that party is only a vehicle for campaign, for political campaign. That is not institutionalism, James. So we're saying action has been what has been lacking. We're saying the people's ownership has been what has been lacking. We're endeavor. It's not going to be perfect. I'm not here to present perfection to you. I'm not here to say, look, I have the crystal ball or the panacea, the magical solution to Liberia's problem. I'll be too arrogant, too pompous, too presumptuous to say such thing. God forbid. That's not why I'm here, James. What I'm here to present to you is that there are things that we are able to do as citizens. We just need to change our heart, our mindset for our country, for our fellow citizens. We do those things, you'll see the anger will go down. The social cohesion, love for one another, all that division about tribe, religion, all those tensions, is because people are struggling. People's country, some people are trapped in Liberia. They can't afford a plane ticket. They don't have the means to travel and get in airplane to go to places. They should enjoy amenities in their country's resources, just as those of us who can afford to get in plane and go to places when we need to travel. That's what I'm saying. I can accept my grandparents in Cape Mount, in Bapulu, in Suamaka, in Bopulu. I can accept their conditions, and I feel comfortable sleeping under air condition in an air conditioned home, driving an air conditioned vehicle around. I get in plane, I fly around. That's unacceptable. I'm not comfortable with that. It's a moral failure. That's why we're here to ingrain, to plant in the heads of those who are attracted to the PAP. Look, there are a lot of people coming to the party, okay? People who have been in office before, people who are in office right now, people who have attempted to run for office, haven't won or succeeded, young people who have been in other parties, those who haven't been in a party at all, they're all trooping to us. We welcome everybody. However, when you come to this house, there are ground rules. You ought to be willing to learn the rules. You ought to be willing to speak the language. You ought to be willing to do things differently here. Let's try something different and see what results we get. That's our proposition here.
Thank you. You stressed action, and I like that action, right? And President Boakai, let me tell you, has just taken action. Okay, and the action is it reads: President Joseph Newman Boakai has dismissed three top officials of the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency and appointed an interim management team made up of security professionals to strengthen the country's response to its worsening drug crisis.
Mm-hmm.
You agree with me that this is the second time in a year, in less than a year, that the president has done that? What the thing though, action is not the issue, but what is the president, what has he studied to come up with this solution? For me, it is like, changing the baker because the bread is getting burned. But really, we are not studying what is making this bread to burn.
Studying. Janice, look, yes, there are
So
different
President
levels.
Walker is taking action, and you
Oh,
talk
yeah,
about
I agree. I'm about to.
what will be the difference?
Janice, there are different kinds of actions, different levels of actions, different needs for different kinds of actions. You have executive actions, presidential actions, constitutional actions, statutory actions, civic actions, all kinds of actions. A minister takes action every day. A director in an office, a department takes action every day. An HR staff takes action every day. To what end? To what informs those actions, right? What informs those decisions? What informs this leadership delivery? Now, I'm not criticizing the president here. He's
Why
trying.
not?
It is no, I have criticized. I can criticize. I will criticize. You just cited an example. I'm saying I'm not criticizing his judgment for taking action. Clearly, he has put people there and they've failed him. They've failed the country. They've failed the young people that are ravished by drugs. And then he took a counter action. People went there, they were fighting among themselves. And so he took action and removed them. And then he brought new set of people. Now, the most scandalous thing happened. Somebody is heard on a tape that allegedly their relative is, peddling drugs and say, release that person. The president, that's leadership action. He's saying, listen, I'll put new people there and try. But we in policy studies, there's a thing called the policy temperature. What is the policy temperature? You say, okay, let me test this and see if this is the. So we've done our research, we've done our studies, our feasibilities, or social impact, whatever studies, right? I'm assuming they have some data on the drug problems. They have some policy prescription. Because in institution building and running institution, the people are just an element of the institution. Okay, the people who run the institution, they have the soft side of it. You have the policy, the rules, the laws, and then the organic law, the constitution. You're operating in framework. You follow these things, right? And then to see, do these actors, these people the president has appointed or has chosen over time, do they truly understand their roles, their responsibility? Do they understand this institution? Do they understand the issue, the policy issue, the drug problem in the country? Are they going to the root? So if you take
Is the president giving them the tools?
yes, maybe
the president even setting the direction.
Maybe it's the tool, maybe it's the direction, maybe it's the mindset of those who go there. So there are a whole host of things that are possible to be lacking, that are possible to be happening. So this is where you say, let's take a PESTO test, right? The political, economic, technological, environmental test. So let's test this thing and see. Just that you do a SWOT analysis, you do a PESTO analysis and say, what is happening with LDEA as an institution? And then what is happening with their mandate, their drug problem, the challenge, the policy question problem that they're trying to solve? There are different levels of analysis. And so if these things are not connecting, people don't understand their role, they don't understand their mission. Of course, you'll have failure. And then the president will act and put someone else there to see if this person will ask the right questions. They will get the appropriate training. They will ask for the right tools and resources that they need to do this job. So I'm not close with the authority. I don't know the details. I'm not in government. I'm not advising them on on social problems or social policy issues. I'm not. So I don't really know. As a citizen, just like you, I'm reading in the news, I'm following the issues. That's what I'm saying. So I see some kind of failure somewhere. Where the failure is happening, I cannot pinpoint it because I'm not really close to the problem. We're close to the attempt to solve the problem because we're close to the problem. All of us, our relatives, our friends, our family members, are the Zogos in the street, Dennis. These are not different people. These are our children. These are our nephews, our nieces, our cousins. You know, my cousin's son just died from drugs just recently, a few months ago, from that drug problem in the country. You know, I saw a video. A woman was crying for 3 sons. She said these were good children. They were born in good environment with good parents in good homes. Look at them now. The other one got so on a foot. That's what's ravaging the future of our country. And so what is our government doing to tackle the source of this problem, to have the appropriate institutional arrangement and the people who have the know-how, the mindset, the willingness to truly work to address this problem? It's a societal menace. And so I can't question the president's judgment. All I can say is what I know, what I see happening in the public space is what I can comment on and I just speculate.
Let's talk about the elephant in the room, Sir Joseph.
I didn't know that was an elephant. Okay.
Yeah, that's an elephant in the room because the PAP is promising something new. So with figures like Sir Joseph, and let's give a little background. He had been part of the CDC for 20 years, approximately.
So I'm told, yes.
Yeah, and he has resigned after 20 years because their core values do not align. He has accused the CDC and especially President Weah of all kinds of things, including bribery, or the 500 million Bulgarian investment deal, and all kinds of things, right? That in fact he was isolated by the city by President Weah. President Weah didn't talk to me for this length of time or all that. We see now that he is at the I wouldn't say eminent, but a potential political leader. In fact, he has gone around. People were saying he has in fact formed a new party. So with someone like Joseph, I mean, I don't have anything against him, but it is hard for people to see the change. Do you kind of see that also?
Dennis, for all intent and purposes and for full disclosure, I've been knowing Brother Sir Joseph since we were unaccompanied teenagers on refugee camp in Waterloo refugee camp in Sierra Leone. Sir Joseph didn't have any parents, no relatives, anybody. He lived in one buffer. We used to call it. He would go volunteer to the ration distribution center to get something to eat. And we put ourselves together because at that time in the refugee camp, UNHCR, the United Nations High Commission for Refugee, didn't send high school or college people to school. It was not an emergency. It's not part of their policy. And so only elementary, preschool kids, the UN was sending to school. So we had to lobby for our own scholarship. We succeeded, and the German government established a program called the DAFI program for refugee education. They partnered to the UNHCR. UNHCR subcontracted to the Council of Churches of Sierra Leone, CCSL. And they sent us to Bumpe High School in Bo. Something happened there because there was war in that country. We came back. And then CCSL, Council of Churches of Sierra Leone, went to one of their constituent churches, the SDA, Seventh-day Adventist Church Mission, and asked them, because they had a nearby high school near our refugee camp, the Peninsula Secondary School, and said, look, we like for you we want to use their premises in the afternoon, since their children want to go to school till 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock. We want refugee students to come in the afternoon, and some of their teachers to teach them, and refugee teachers to teach them. And they had that agreement. They signed an MOU. That's how we finished high school. We were student leaders for Sir Joseph them in the camp. We were walking the Banga bush. That guy was behind us, And from that time, we've known each other. We've been friends. One thing about Sir, before I answer your question, he goes back to all those friends whom he struggled with back then, that refugee life, whether it's in Guinea, Sierra Leone, wherever he went to. He looks for them when something appropriate comes his attention that he thinks somebody has the expertise, somebody has the know-how. Who was, oh, my friend in refugee came out. So I'm saying this to say we have a history. He's been in touch with me forever from all those years. One time, like when I came to work in Liberia, 2011, 2012, I was at Royal Hotel. It was in Grand Royal then. And this guy just walked in. I hadn't seen Sir for 10 years. He got him big and all of that. I thought I was another friend, Peter Dauber, who has a church, who been inviting me to go to his church the whole time. I said, Peter. So then, so I mean, you don't remember me again? You know, we laugh about it. We sat down and ate. He said, my man, I'm running for office in District 13. And I'm asking my friends to support my campaign. So I said, look, man, I just got here. I've been vetted for a job. I don't have money to give you. But I will train you and your campaign people. You will win your election. And that's what I did. I trained them on strategy and messaging, how to win campaigns and so on. From that day, anything election, anything politics, training, so I will recommend me. You will call me or something like that. So when a group of Liberians, both at home and abroad, engage me in this conversation, and we've been having this for 2-3 years, that's leading to the PAP today, right? It's not just today's business. I came last year. I came to train commissioners at the Revenue Authority in Liberia. I learned that Sir was in a near-death accident, fire burned his house or something. So I looked for him to see him, to greet him, you know, to commensurate with him and by that incident. He said, my man, the people told me that you guys are having some conversations. I won't be part of you. I said, what kind of conversation are you talking about? He said, hey, man, you think I don't know? You know, and myself, I've been thinking in that direction. So we went to him essentially. So when he said that to me, when it came time for us to truly now establish this party, I said, look, my man, you say you were thinking about political party thing, and what we see you do, what you did during Ebola time, your lifestyle as a politician. I'm not a spokesperson. The senator is a senator. He has a whole office. He has, I believe, staff that are competent and able to speak for him. He can speak for himself. I'm not here to speak for him. I'm just giving you context and answering your question, Dennis. And so I said, look, we're inviting you. We want you to join us because this is our vision. We want to be about the people. We want to take action. And we see you taking action. You're building a university. You say it will be free of charge. Some woman told me, before my mother died during Ebola, the last person she saw was Sir. That's why I voted for him. A childhood friend of mine who was a lawyer told me, say, I told Sir, my one vote is always for you because this guy's lifestyle is close to the grassroots people. Based on that, we invited him to the PAP. We're looking for friends and supporters. We're funding this thing ourselves. We don't have money. We go around and find resources to build a party, to follow what the law says, to bring this movement, these ideals and ideas to bear. Sir is a magnet in Liberia. If whether you like him or not, he's a major political stakeholder in that country. I can't speak to his CDC politics, what happened. I'm not close to that. I do not know what happened. I heard on the news just like you heard his interview myself, right? But what I know, we invited him to the PAP. He embraced it, and we've been, him and other prominent and grassroots and farmers, people from Maryland and other places, Lofa, we're all in this together. If he has the ambition to be standard bearer of our party, the law says you go to your first convention before you are fully certificated. It's at a convention, delegates of the council of the PAP Congress will elect the standard bearer and political leader and other officials of the party. If he wins, then that's our standard bearer. Will support him. We in the PAP framework, we're going to promote his goal. But if it's not, if somebody else wins, that's the person. So this party is not about Sir Joseph. It's not about Ahmed Sirleaf. It's not about any one individual at all. But everyone is welcome. Now, these are politicians. They go out there and make statements. They insinuate. Because I can't control that. We rein them in and say, look, man, you went out there, you said this. We're still working this thing with the Election Commission. We got to stay within the guidelines. We have to follow the law. This is not Sir Joseph Party, or you're not a standard bearer. Some zealous young people came to me with a video. They went to a marketplace and said, Sir Joseph has started a political party. We want you to join. And they were in our chat room. We had a meeting. He said, this is not campaign business. This is the wrong messaging. If anyone told you to say that, this is the wrong place to say that. It's not so. You don't understand the PAP. We need to educate you. Since then those very young people now have come around. They're learning and trying to follow our ideas about what this party is, not like what they used to. Go somewhere, political battle cry, before somebody speak, you sing. This is not a place for that, and time and place for that, Dennis. I can assure you of that. Sir Joseph may be a presumptive political leader of the PAP. That's his constitutional right. If his peers elect him, we will support him. But I have to say, we are going after institutionalism. We're going after trying to build something that has never existed in our country before.
Okay, so before I ask my question, I just want to do a follow-up to some of the things you said. You talked about how the formation of this party started years back, and not just recent stuff or recent thing that you guys playing as perceived by many people. So
Right.
looking at Sir Joseph posture during the CDC regime and his current posture in the Senate, specifically under the Unity Party-led government. And you say that you people playing this, long or years back. So can we say that this plan was
James,
premeditated
we've been
for
having
him to?
conversations. We've been having conversations. We've been, that's how institutions germinate, right? You have ideas, you have vision, people show examples. We've been having these conversations. Yes, they're not like we've been planning years back. These are
And when and
conversations.
when and when the SAG get involved, I think that's where he's going.
Oh, this is why look, it's in fairness to SAR, in all transparency, when SAR got involved, to my attention, this has not been a long time ago, in February maybe, and he had a blueprint already for a political party. They had different names for Citizen United for Progress and this that. So we culminated some of the ideas, and we have our own ideas. We have different people who are having conversations on our side. We say, look, my man, come and join us. You have ideas. You want to do this. We see your work. Maybe this is somebody whose politics we can modify, Dennis, into the PAP ideals. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I told you there are Liberians who are active politicians currently, certain legislators, certain officials in government who are in the PAP. Okay, so because they're Liberian citizens, are you going to say, in
You
fact,
can
by
give
law,
us
as
you can
long
give
as
us
you're
some
18
names.
years of age and above, the party is open to you. I must clarify too, the by-election commission law, though, we refer to these people as would-be partisans because we're not an established party here. This is a proposed idea. It's a proposed party that's going through registration processes. You are only allowed to go canvass for 3,500 per county, at least 6 counties around the country. Come with that list to the election commission. That's the canvassing. That's the requirement of the law. So those who are aspiring to be part of CPAP, the in-chat rooms, all of that, these are people we're keeping in our conversation. We're building a database, would be partisan. Should we be certificated and fully ready to go to convention and approved by the election commission, cleared now that we are a legitimate registered party in the Republic of Liberia? These are citizens who are in our database. We can co-opt and we can, put together to invite to a convention. You have to put structure in place, some kind of scaffold in place for the time when you have the go-ahead now to fully form, and then you have people so you don't start from scratch. I just wanted to put that disclaimer in there so I don't get in legal trouble here.
Okay, so thank you. My real question now. You are moving towards establishing your party and then convention subsequently, and moving out into the counties to mobilize people to join you. So, are you also open to high profile individuals, politicians, even those who are perceived to be corrupt?
Yes, perceived to be corrupt. You say perceived. I'm not here to judge them, but because we are introducing a new idea for Liberia, and by law, as long as you are 18 years and above, the party has to be open to all Liberians. There's no requirement that bars any particular individual. I told you, however, when they come to the PAP house, it's a different ground rule, different policy, a different kind of political party. You have to go through our LDI, Leadership Development Institute, learn our ideology. We are a social democratic. What do we mean? We're here for our people. We are just and fair. We're out for the well-being of the citizens of the country. We want to empower our citizens, our youth, our elderly, and the vulnerable, most vulnerable populations and members of our society. If you subscribe to any of these ideas and you're willing to be disciplined, to be party disciplined and learn new things and go by it, we don't tolerate corruption. First of all, we're trying to really fight that, right? To say, look, you come here, but this is not a place for you to come and do like new wine, how to say new wine, old bottle, or wine in new bottle. That's not the kind of thing. We're having that challenge with some young people already who are in the party. They were in CDC, they were in Unity Party, other parties. Just come with the same mindset. We say, hold on, this is a different place. And my job as the organizing chair is to manage all of that, build an institution, work with the appropriate authorities to get us certificated to the point we go to convention and fully then launch the party to the country and to the world. That is my responsibility to get to that milestone. And I'm going to ensure that we do that guided by our stated ideology and vision for Liberia.
Go ahead, James.
Yeah. Just a follow-up question. You talk about fighting corruption within the party and disciplining people, but Sir Joseph, the quote unquote one of your partisans or senior members, he has been accused on numerous occasions of corruption or his involvement into some scandal deals in the country. So specifically, the importation of those killer bean buses that were brought into the country, and then subsequently the NTA buses were no longer seen, and then people have accused him of using that means, to make money instead of using the public buses that has been provided by the government. So don't you see that as something alarming for even your senior members too as well, and not just the young people you're talking about?
James, this will be a rule of law party. The party has a constitution, a draft constitution that will be adopted at its first convention. Constitution which we used by law to get incorporated by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, signed by the minister. In that constitution, we have provisions, disciplinary provisions, appeal processes. We're not perfect, but we're trying to build an institution. And there's a strong stance on corrupt, proved or proven corruption cases. If a party member, falls afoul of any of the violates the party's constitution, there are consequences, there are processes. That said, you say allegations. I don't like, as I'm not here to speak for the senator and James. Don't you're conflating two things into one. Don't drag me into Senator Sir Joseph's politics, allegations, his stance, or you say his posture. I don't know what that means. The senator is a sitting senator of the most popular county, the capital city, home of the capital city of our country, Mansourado County. All right. He's a politician. There'll be allegations, perceptions about him. He will make statements. There are all kinds of things with him and his previous party, him and the public. I don't know. It's not my job to come here to speak to that. I said would-be members. We're not even open for full membership registration by law until we reach a certain place. The commission has cleared us to do so. We have certain limit that you target and report that. Okay, so I can't be dragged into what some affiliate of the PAP may have done or not have done, or some allegation, and now to impugn the person's character, perhaps, whether it's just hearsay or proven, is it was their audit, is there a government report that's so bad that this person shouldn't be associate of the PAP, given our stated ideologies and principles upon which we're standing to say we're legitimate, respect us, we're serious, come and join us, and we will be a political party in the republic. And so I don't want to speak to this. Contact his office, contact the senator himself. He's very able to speak. I've heard him speak to issues, allegations, and so forth and so on. Please do that. But as far as the party is concerned, all I can tell you, we have a constitution that's going to govern us. If anyone falls afoul of that constitution, there are processes, there's whole due process mechanisms put in place to address the alleged infraction, of said partisan would be when time comes, said partisan. So we do have a process. And if that time comes, when that time comes, and there's a member who has been found by a competent court in our jurisdiction of corruption, or who falls afoul of our party's principles and values and ideologies, we expel people. It doesn't matter who you are, because what did I say in the beginning? Our goal is that this is the party that is bigger and above any one person. There's no more powerful person in the party than the people. That's why we say the People's Action Party. By the people, for the people, and of the Liberian people. We're serious about this. So if you think you can join the PAP, you have big corruption records, or you have some moral, human rights violations, and all kinds of bad things, the society looks at you terribly, and it can be proven. It has been proven in court. The PAP is now your home.
Thank you. And Mr. Sir Joseph, if you are listening, we want to extend to you an invitation to come here on Focus on Liberia, so we can ask you about the PAP and also your break with the CDC and the allegations against you. But Mr. Sirleaf, let's talk about money.
Mm-hmm.
Even Bible says money answers everything. And I saw a joke. They say, what hunger cannot do does not exist. I mean, when you don't have money, you can do all kinds of things. And the people, unfortunately, the people with the deepest pockets in Liberia are the people who got money through some means that we don't know, some shitty means, right? Mm-hmm. And these people are going to come to you. And normally partisans don't give money to run the party. And so we always depend on deep pockets.
Who told you that?
Mr. Cummins. We got the deepest pocket ANC, so everything is Mr. Cummins. If you go almost every party, you have the person with the money, because people are not putting their mouths where their money is, or they are not putting money where their mouth is. Okay. How do you guide against this? And most of these people with the money are political deadweights. They have tried different elections, they can't win. They have enough stolen money, or money that the source we don't know, since how are you going to guide against those kind of people coming to invest heavily in the PAP, and as a result sway people? Because everybody, especially the young people, they want to follow someone who has money. Look at Councillor Tiawan Gongo in the last election. He didn't have money, so people look at him and laugh, even though his ideas were some of the best in the elections. What are you going to do, man?
It wasn't. Tiawan's problem wasn't about money, Dennis. I'm a political consultant. His protege and I are good friends. I told him all the time, I said the senator's strategies are flawed. He needs to fix them. It's not all about money. And look, to confront your question, there are a bunch of assumptions, and the premise is flawed. And I will say why. That everybody in Liberia who has money, number one, that they have gotten it through corruption. That's not true. There's serious people in Liberia who work in the profession, who have businesses, who earn money legitimately, and they're members of the PAP. Okay, and also that parties are not funded by their members, their would-be members. That's also not true. At least in the case of the PAP, it's not proven to be true. There are individuals who are very moved by our mission our ideology and our stated vision for the country, and the way we're conducting ourselves, the institution that we're putting together, who have put serious, preliminary emergency funds on the table to help us clean places, to help us buy food for our people, to help us for people to travel around the country to do what they need to do to register their party. There are people who have donated money at home and abroad. Liberians everywhere, from Lofa County to Harper, to Bopulu, to Tiani, Grand Cape County, to Boje, in Maka District. People are trooping to the PAP. They're asking, how can I contribute? How can I donate? We have lawyers, a law firm that's advising us. We have a legal department in our skeletal structure that we put in. We're putting together, appointing people to help us have a good sense of institution. These people, we have a legal department. It's staffed by very prominent, able, competent Liberian lawyers. And these people are advising us. The local election commission guidelines, the local 1986 constitution, the specific chapter provision that guides, registering political parties, and so forth and so on. We have those things. People are pro bono work. They're contributing, they're volunteering. For instance, this coming Saturday, our headquarters that we've purchased in Congo Town, one person volunteered, say, I'll buy the food that you will eat to go clean that day. I'll bring, this is the list of cleaning materials and things we need. And someone said, oh, I'll buy everything. Another person said, no, you can't buy everything. We all here, we want to contribute. Can I give $50? Can I give 500 Liberty? Can I give 100 Liberty? We have a mobile money account. We established a bank account. We, are putting structures together to solidify our institution, to bring it to fruition. And we're testing various arms and means of it, Dennis. People are putting money where their mouth is. From someone who can only afford 100 Liberty to someone who can afford $100,000. Yes, to your question, PAP is attracting people who have resources. Okay, I can't be a hypocrite to deny that, who have resources and who are offering to do things. But I said that it has to be
some of them ill-gotten resources.
Perhaps. I mean, I don't know. I can't sit here and accuse someone, impugn their character just because they're in government, they're active politician. I said their money was ill-gotten. I know corruption is a menace in our country. People acquire, take public funds to themselves for themselves. That is true. If I say that doesn't exist, then I don't deserve to be on your show talking about a party that is pledging to the Liberian people to be a different institution. That is so true. But I'm here to tell you that there are guidelines in the PAP. You enter the party's chat room, you feel what I'm telling you. Somebody offers this, somebody offers this. We have a vetting process, whether it's money, whether it's someone who's been recommended for a particular, interim role until convention. We're trying to be meticulous. We're trying to do what we say we should do, and the PAP should be an institution that is above any one person, that will be so built, so functional, that anybody can run it. Anybody can run it. So, while your question is a legitimate concern, and we're taking it under advisement, I'm here to tell you that at least we're putting a temporary mechanism that helps us to vet people, to vet their donations, their processes, and the means, those kinds of things. People who want to.
And what is that vetting process? Someone asked. Sam Waller is asking.
Or in terms of the money or the character or the
character, the money, people with ill-gotten wealth that say, oh, I'm going to dump it in the party and so that I will. I mean, remember in the CPP, the fear was if we go to convention, Mr. Cummings will buy the people because he has money. So people
you can't do that in the PAP, and no one can buy anybody in the PAP. We have a legal department, and then we have what's called a Cadet Council. Then it's the Cadet Council. The way we're defining it is, look, we're introducing some institutional mechanisms and arms that we haven't seen in Liberian politics. The Cadet Council, maybe retire professionals, a judge, a teacher, a nurse, some technical or an accountant. We put them in there and say, look, advise us based on your professional guide and experience. And this is the department you're working with. This is the department you're working with. The vetting process is we're doing background checks on people, particularly people who want to play roles, who want to hold this position, that position. We want to do background checks because there are people in other political parties. The law says you can't be an active registered card-holding member of one party, then you won't be a member of another party. So we're vetting people for that. We're vetting people who may smear or impugn the party's name, the PAP's name, if we know that you've been tried and found guilty for something, whether it's moral or whether it's corruption or human rights violations, some kind of thing like that. You're not going to be welcome in the PAP because
the war crimes could say those whose names are in the TRC.
Yeah, TRC reports. Those who have been, vetting the investigation shows that they committed war crimes. Say that war crimes and serious human rights, egregious human rights violations. They're not going to be PAP members. Certainly not PAP officials. It's not perfect. It's not perfect. It's not going to be perfect. I'm not here to present a panacea to you, to present a perfect, ideal party that has no flaws. If that happens, if I tell you that, don't take me seriously. We will make mistakes. We have made mistakes already, but we're putting in mechanisms by which we can listen and address those mistakes as we go forward.
Thank you. I like you. I like the professorial aspect of it too.
Thank you. I'm a professor, so when I'm talking, that teaching thing comes.
Okay, James, you got anything? Because I want to ask a final question, and we go to our calls. If you can unmute, James, we can hear you.
Let's take some calls from Liberia, because I'm traveling right now. I'm out here. The diaspora people will be calling. I welcome that, but I want to hear from the people whom.
Yeah, they will call. James, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to know whether the vetting process he's talking about, whether it's currently in process or it's something that they are looking forward to. Because he said people are making donations currently to the party. Whether these donations that are being made or contributions that are being made, whether they are being vetted before acceptance.
These are first of all, just to clarify, Dennis, because look, there's campaign finance law, there's a political finance law in Liberia, so I don't get in legal trouble here, right? I'm not my legal counsel, PAP legal counsel is not sitting next to me here, so I don't want to get in any trouble. These are meager contributions, donations, like we're going to clean up our office space. I don't think the law says you can't buy food. Monserrato County chapter that we're putting together decided to do an acquaintance meeting, to know one another, to meet in person for the first time. Somebody said, let me buy food. Then another person said, no, you alone can buy food. The women wing, the women leagues, folks say we will call, we'll prepare the meal, we'll contribute. These kinds of things are what I'm talking about, right? I'm not talking about somebody bringing 100,000, 200,000, a million. I know we haven't had. What's
the highest amount you received so far?
Look, we took a loan to acquire our headquarters, to put $100,000 down payment on our headquarters. That's not anybody's contribution, okay? And then so like party registration fees, things like that. We're raising in our chat room. We're asking our members, can you contribute? We want $10,000. We want $1,800, $900. Those kinds of things we're talking about. 500 Liberty, 1,000 Liberty. Those are within the scope of organizing process and organizing political party process.
Mr. Sirleaf, I know you've studied this thing for a long time. So let me ask you this question. Almost every aspect, everything you pick up in Liberia, there's a problem with it. Take, for instance, the drug epidemic. That's an issue. Right. The broken health system for which people are going to Ghana, and most of them are dying. They are not coming back. Okay.
Some are coming back, Dennis. They shouldn't be going to Ghana. We should fix at home. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's a problem. If we look at the school system, the President Sirleaf called it a mess. In fact, the Commission for Higher Education just closed down schools. I mean, somebody in a 2-bedroom apartment has a master degree program going on there. If you look at the economic policy of begging, let's go to this place. How much money can we get? What can we bring home? So you take 40, 50% go. I mean, I saw some of the President Waka's meeting in Japan. Sometimes you have 3 Japanese and you have 15 Liberians. I mean, how can you outnumber? You are the guest. So we have, I think it was Louis Brown who described, or Alara Tugba described our economic policy of begging. If you look at the impossible roads, that's another problem. The president described, that cars are getting stuck in mine, southeast Liberia is cut off during the rainy season. Pick any one of these problems. How does the PAP, I don't want to talk about food, hungry people, right? Take any one of them. How does the PAP intend to address any one of these issues that is different from the PAP?
What we've been doing, how is it different than what we know? Dennis,
I want you to pick a specific issue.
Okay, pick a specific issue.
Let's do foreign policy because we beg too much.
Yeah, let's do. I like foreign policy. Let's do foreign. Yeah. Look, foreign policy. Those who study and those who in diplomacy ought to be pegged on what's called a domestic policy, the national strategic interest. Every country has a national strategic interest. First, we have to identify what's Liberia's national strategic interest. Maybe our national strategic interest is the in the arrest agenda, those pillars the government lay out. We need to fix our roads. Maybe the president says he wants to connect the country. When you connect the country, people move around, economy, things move. Maybe then you start to move the next thing. It's not just about lateral roads. Maybe you want to pave the roads. You truly want to connect the country. Maybe that is our national strategic interest. We don't have our budget is not in 1 billion, tiny, $1 billion. We don't have that as a country. As a country of 5-point-something million, with the vast natural resources we have, for which the president was asking the Americans to come do additional assessment to tell us what we have so we can negotiate with them. We don't even have a $1 billion budget. And vast majority of the 700 million or so goes towards what's called wage bill, the expenses to run the government, pay people, and these kinds of things, right? So you first have to identify what is our national strategic objective. Based on that, you devise a foreign policy that says to address our domestic policy, here's what we need to engage in partnership with. We need to engage this country, that region. Whether it's multilateral diplomacy or bilateral, meaning with multiple countries or institutions that are dealing with different countries, or just country-to-country relationship. It has to be focused on addressing or meeting a need. Any country, you come to America, Donald Trump calls the summit. His goal is about America's national strategic interest. So what's our national strategic interest that we've identified for which we're engaging in foreign policy? So once you have that, and then you say, okay, is it agriculture diplomacy, commercial, economic diplomacy? If so, where should we focus? Who are the partners in the global community whom we can engage to what end? These are the questions foreign policy and people ask, right? But there are other types of diplomatic practices that don't necessarily have to be based on a domestic agenda. For instance, as a country, you're not living in isolation. You have to relate to other countries, right? You have to participate in multilateral meetings or multilateral organizations. You have to be a member of ECOWAS, Mana River Union, African Union, the United Nations. Who knows which whether regional or international government that you ought to be part of. You pay dues, in fact, so that attention can be paid to your country when the time comes or when you have certain needs. Those kinds of diplomacy ought to happen naturally. What is
the Waka administration not doing that you would do different, that the PAP would do differently?
That the PAP will do that. I told you the PAP will engage in practical solutions. That's we say our
I told
ideology.
diplomacy now. Let's specifically
Dennis,
diplomacy.
Dennis,
Because Mr. Sirleaf,
in
I see
diplomacy,
that we're just begging people. We not. I don't know if you
PAP
know.
is not going to promote begging people diplomacy.
Right.
I told you.
But that's what the current government is doing.
Dennis, we have natural resources. We
Hmm.
say Liberia is rich. It's not just euphemism. This is true, right? Look, a minister told me once during President Sirleaf's administration, this minister was responsible for dealing with donors. I was working in donor community. The minister said, Sirleaf, we don't even know how much iron ore do we get that comes to Buchanan. We don't know the quantity. And then the big vehicles, the vessels can't come to Buchanan port. They stop far at sea. You know, there's a process where a smaller vehicle has to go. They have a vessel. They have to weigh the ore and whatever that's going in there. The company that's doing that is hired by the company, the concessionaire. So we don't really know exactly how much they're extracting from our country. That tells me that minister didn't even know then how much to negotiate for Liberia, how much Liberia should benefit, let alone to talk about processing value addition in country to add jobs, create skills for our people. These are kinds of things PAP will be looking at. You know, our natural resources, what do we have? What's the value? What are the qualities? How can we do it here in Liberia? How much can we export? Literally, how much can we take out of my country? In what condition?
Imagine, Mr. Sirleaf, President Bouakai telling President Trump, come and see what we get so you can buy it. Basically, you go in the attic, see how much rice I get there, then you tell, then we can sell it to you. What do you think the president going to do?
Because the president qualified that. He said because
later on,
he said later on, yeah, he said we don't have the infrastructure, the means to do that. And that's the reality, unfortunately. I mean, that's the reality.
But the president who's going to buy it, you say, come, why can't you put a committee together?
It's possible. No, hold on, Dennis. Listen, you can do that. You can invite technical assistance, and that technical assistance comes, you monitor them, you have terms, you agree to the terms, you know, you draw legal instruments, technical instruments, and you follow that, you monitor them. That's a way to do it. The president was right. We don't have the machinery, the technology to go in the mine to know what's there, what other natural resources we have. We may say, oh, why you invite them to come tell us what we have so they can buy it? But truly, we do not have the means to know what we have. So, okay, call China, call America, but let's put in a process in place that ensures that we know exactly what they're doing, okay? So that when it comes time to negotiate then, we can know what we're asking for.
Thank you. Let me bring in James to announce our numbers here so we can have our callers from Liberia.
Okay, so the numbers are 077-959-959, 0818-71670, 077-959-959, 0881-871-670, 077-959-959, 077-959-959, 0881-871-670 are the numbers to call and make your input on the program. Today we have as our guest Mr. Ahmed Sirleaf. He's the He's the organizing chairman of the proposed People's Action Party. So let's hear from you. 077-959. Okay, we have somebody here. Welcome.
Hello?
Welcome. You're live. Please go ahead. Your name and where do you call from?
Well, I'm Bengo Tade. They're calling from foremost our country.
Okay, please go ahead.
Yeah.
You're live. Go ahead.
I mean, thank you so much for the whole explanation. I listened to you from the beginning of the show, and I follow you. I mean, there is a crime of party, there is a crime of ideology in our country. With people with a lot of platform, on Peter C saying that there is a journal. That 1842 politics is over now. It is our sound now. Taking action in the life of the people, improving the life of the people. Today, all of the hospital, there's no medication. People are dying at the hospital. Killable disease are killing our people in this country. So the is come, is here to stay and to impact for the people.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Let's see another person. Good evening. Welcome.
Hello?
Your live, please go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry, calling from Babylon.
You calling from Papulu County. Okay, go ahead. Great.
Okay.
Yeah, I just want to comment that the chairman, this kind of party that we're looking for, that will come within this country, is solving a tumor in this country here, and the chairman actually gave them bravo, Mr. Chairman. Bravo, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, congratulations.
Okay. Thank you so kind. Let's see another person. Good evening. Welcome.
Hello?
Your live, please go ahead. Your name, where do you come from?
Yeah, call myself on screen singer.
Your name?
I'm Bowman Brian.
Okay. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you for giving me the time to speak. Yeah, brother, studio guest. It's a good thing, but all politicians can come out with Google man, but tomorrow and that when they go to America and the whole man change. Now we are facing problems within our state. Government go with prayer, but the issue can be settled. Every day we still crying. We need job, we need this, and our politicians will come, will vote them for power. At the end of the day, they will just lie to us. They can't solve that problem.
Okay.
Facing it within the same government. So we pray that we have government bless our good leader. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so kindly. Let's get another person. Good evening, welcome.
Good evening, how are you?
Your name and where do you come from?
Well, I'm Amos Roden, my joy, and I from the Corway Junction community.
Please go ahead.
Well, I just want to thank Chairman so much. I followed the show at the beginning. I think this is a new dawn of a new magazine of party politics we are now in Liberia. We are hoping that when this party formalized into action, into the way it's been launched, it will do more to help the Liberian people.
Okay.
I'm listening to a lot of other things that you have spoken about, getting in investment, training young men, productive. Those are all initiatives for. So I want to thank you so much. I can thank you so much then I thank you now.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. Bravo from the good job.
Thank you so kindly. Let's see another person. Welcome. Good evening. Hello, your live. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good evening.
Your name and where do you come from?
That's a chairman. Bravo to you. And good evening to my chairman and my brother. This is Abu Shari calling from Japan Freeway, Amakashi. Brother, this is a way forward because this was the Liberian people have not been waiting for.
Okay.
Because from the party, Toronto now from Unity Party, I think fellow Liberian, that's the only party now that will be rescuing of proper, yeah.
Okay.
The only party that will be crossing all the river, yeah.
Thank
By
you
the
so
grace of
kindly.
God, so all Liberian put together.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much.
Let's 6 months on the loan side line. Welcome. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome.
Hello?
Yeah, you're live. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hello?
Please go ahead. You're live. Yeah, I'm getting you. Are you getting me?
Thank you. Yes. I'm Edward whatever P.O. Jones. I call you from Maggie, Maggie County.
Okay.
Let me commend the chairman for his expose. I really enjoying the program, and I can assure him I will be there on Saturday at the party headquarters.
Okay, thank you so kindly.
Thank you.
Another person. Welcome. Good evening.
James, good evening.
Good evening, Chief. Your name and where do you come from?
thank you. Even to the panelists.
Okay, go ahead, please, quickly. 30 seconds, please.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Chairman, one thing you say, we support the United Party and we are the color to support the regime, but I think nowhere else. So if what we are here, we standing by because our people will suffer for their employee they get pay on their eyes. Same today it will be on media propagate it, bringing the government power, send the power. They now know our value. So if we can form a team to propagate a measure so that they can be the next government.
Okay. So we just take at least one call, and then the chairman can respond to the questions. We take. Welcome. Good evening. The last caller here. Good evening. Welcome.
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm fine. Your name? Where do you call from?
Yeah, my name King Juice Poppy. I'm from Old Road.
Okay, go ahead quickly. 30 seconds, please.
Okay. One, I would like to thank the gentleman for coming on the station tonight to explain things to us, but I want to pose this question to Liberians and not necessarily the chairman. How can we develop and rebuild Liberia anew with the same individuals coming with the same rhetoric every 6 years? We've seen just changing faces. I heard this gentleman say that he was involved with UP, CDC. He knows all these people behind the scenes. So what's different?
Okay, so tell me, can you respond to those questions? And then we don't have time. We have another program coming up at 10. So I guess you got the points, right? The questions or the concerns.
I did. I was writing them down. I'll start reverse with the last one. The gentleman from Old Road, legitimate point. How can we move Liberia forward when we have the same old people who have come with rhetorics and said different things? How can they now do something differently? And he referenced that I say I've done stuff for CDC and UP. And I did say because the answering the question, why can you improve the existing parties? You have to form a new party. I've tried. I've participated in supporting ideas that I thought those parties that were advancing to improve the country. And if they didn't listen, I was in party official. It's not like I've never worked in government, held a government position. I've never run for office before. So I'm not one of those old same old politicians you're talking about here. Yes, as a Liberian, you want your country to move forward. Doesn't matter which party, which president, which administration. You have skills, you have expertise, you have experience, you have training. You ought to avail yourself to your country. That's what I've done in the past. And if that hasn't worked, and that has been the vehicle that has advanced some of what I and others thing that can move the country forward, and that's why we are on this path.
Mr. Sirleaf, if you may, I want to bring in one more caller from the US, so because they've been on the line.
Let's go for it. Take few from the US, that's fine. If we can.
Call out your name and where you calling from.
Yeah, Grace Morris, maybe.
I got to unmute then. Sorry. Hello, caller, your name and where you calling from?
This is Kelavo Gongo, and I'm happy to listen to Ahmed. I joined the show late, so I didn't. So, Janet, am I clear?
Yes, sir.
We can hear you, sir.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, I may ask question that probably Ahmed has answered some of it, but I have a few things to ask quickly. One, the founder of this PAP, who is the convener of the PAP, Sir Joseph.
He's not the founder, he said.
I would like to. Well, so can you speak to Sir Joseph's records on one in terms of whether he has helped to pass any legislative bill before in the legislature, and what were those bills? And second, if you can also speak to Sir Joseph's stand on the popular call for the audit of the legislature, whether Sir Joseph support that or whether he will be willing now, as part of a new political thinking, to support to call for the audit of the legislature. So my last question would be, I know this is more preemptive, but I'm not sure this guy is more coming with conspiracy theory. But Sir Joseph was in the US. I didn't meet him personally, but I was privy to some of the discussion he held with people, some behind closed door and some publicly. Sir Joseph is alleged to have said that if Joseph Boaga is on the ballot in 2029, he will not, his party that he's forming will not feature a presidential candidate. Can the acting chair confirm here that regardless of what PAP will have a presidential candidate in 2029? Thank you.
Can I go?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Thank you. So, as I was going reverse, so Kalabo Kim, I will answer that, then I proceed. Look, I told you earlier, Dennis, I'm not here to speak for Senator Sir Joseph. I'm not his spokesperson, neither do I work for his office. His association with the party, yes, his vision aligns, what he expressed and done that we've seen aligns with some of our pragmatic vision for solving problem for Liberia. We invited him to the PAP, except that he's a magnet in Liberia. He's a major stakeholder in our political landscape. No question about that. And the party is open to anyone, all Liberians 18 years and above under the law. Beyond that, I cannot speak to what bills the senator may have proffered at the legislature, what statement he may have made somewhere where I'm not privy to. I told you we're enforcing party discipline, right? And those senators, Joseph himself I've heard him say on tape that I'm looking for position in the PAP. Then you're asking me if a PAP founder and all that. He's not a founding member. His name is now in legal document, articles of incorporation, none, zero, zip. But I can't sit here to be a hypocrite to say, look, we haven't bought into some of his vision that is now one of the vision bearers of the PAP. That's not the key. He is. And he's potentially presumptive standard bearer of PAP if the delegates at the convention vote for him, because he's part of the party. So are others. Others are intending to put a name in the ballot when the time comes. And that's all I can say about that, really, Calabo. I can't talk. It'll be innuendos, or I will be engaging in some kind of hypothetical to something that I wasn't privy to. The ninth caller from Old Row, I addressed that, and the person said, "Seem old people trying to present themselves a different idea." Sekou Fofana, voted for UP. I'm not here to bash or speak ill of other parties. We say we will be about positive politics. We will encourage people who want to do well for Liberia. Parties, institutions that want to do well for Liberia, we'll encourage them, we'll work with them, we'll advance solutions and take action. That's what PAP is about. If you voted for a party that, according to you, has allegedly neglected you, confront your partisans, go to them, go to your administration, the ruling party, they're now in government, and see some of what they promise you. But by and large, what that speaks to me is the citizens of the country, ordinary people that PAP is coming for and with, the pen drivers, from the plumber to, from the farmer to the pharmacist. We cut across spectrum, right? So if you neglect our people, you abandon our people. Look, Dennis, every generation has an obligation to answer the call to help their country to rise, to help their people, the vulnerable people in their society, in their community, to help their country to rise out of the arches, to take off and become a modern, successful place that everyone can thrive. PAP, our slogan is "Together we build, together we prosper." And we truly, truly mean that. So if there's a party that is in office now, made promises, is not going back to the people, that's the very reason why now we're talking about PAP. Let's see. The number 7 community, somebody just congratulating, and they really, like the ideas that we're presenting here. Thank you. Abu Sharif is my brother. He's congratulating. But the thing about Abu Sharif, though, he's a sedition. They've met for a whole life. That's one of the young people there who will be singing behind in his place of business, is convening other seditions, to hear him say, look, I like the idea, not because his brother is presenting it, but if that's what really appeals to him is beyond Ahmed Sirleaf, we welcome him. PAP is open to him, right? Amos Roland, Carwell Junction, thank you. Just congratulatory. Someone from 2nd Street, Boima, Blion, all politicians come, and this is a legitimate concern. Dennis, you raised that. James, you raised that on this call today. That look, what makes it different? I mean, everybody comes, all the politicians, look, will build the roads, will address the education, the healthcare, and this, that. What is different is PAP is acting. We say action, People's Action Party. This party belongs to the people. But truly, and we will live that. You'll see it, watch and see. A colleague said to me, my man, the same thing. I said, watch and see. Watch us. Come join us. If you can't, you don't want to join us, you're not convinced yet, give us some time and see what we're talking about and what we're going to do, okay? So just quickly, the other ones from Bapulu, I think another family member there. Anytime you hear Lasana Sirleaf or something, that's from my hometown, Medina, Bapulu, from all my people there. So
if your husband sell you, the street will not buy you.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, you mean your own family got to say a little bit, man. You know, a good job. So thank you there, Lasana. Shout out to you. The first caller, 0.4, talks about since we were done with 1847 politics. But a quick thing about 1847 politics, though, Dennis, there were citizens in Liberia who rose to the call. Those were challenging times. Think of 1847. Someone said, look, we ought to declare our independence so we can have territorial integrity, so we can be able to collect taxes, so we can define our sovereignty. Those were brave and courageous politicians and statesmen and women who stood for Liberia. So I won't bash them. I congratulate them. We stand high on their shoulders. There have been citizens and eras in Liberia, presidents who rose to the call. If you look at Totman, like him or not, Totman built all the public buildings in the country, major places, national monuments. You know, the House of Representatives that somebody burned, the legislature, the Capitol building, President Totman built it. He built the Temple of Justice. He built the executive mansion. I think he started, I don't know, Torba finish it. You know, so he built the roads, Broad Street, some of the major roads. During that times, those were major things that they did to modernize and move the country forward. And then we brought war. We destroyed everything. We haven't been able to pick the pieces to go beyond the difficulties the country has experienced to better our people's lives. And so I would just say, while we're here to say, let's rise as citizens and to our citizenship obligations, also, we have to give those flowers who have done something good.
Thank you, Mr. Sirleaf. I want you to close with this, and this will our final your parting comments.
Okay.
Well, where do you see the PAP and Liberia in 5 years now? What legacy do you hope the PAP will leave behind? And finally, what message would you like to share directly with our listeners, especially those undecided about supporting the PAP?
I don't know if James is still on. Are we on the radio still? That would be really nice. So I don't know, Dennis, because I'm not here to speak to Dennis Jah. I'm here to speak to the people.
The video will be there for the next 60 minutes.
In Salaye, the people in Zozo, the people in Campley, these are the people Harper, Kawekin, these are the people I want to speak to, okay? Look, the PAP, what I want to say to our people, to the people of Liberia, you have the right to question our sincerity. You have the right to question even the integrity of what we're saying. You have the right to say, look, we've been misled. We've heard so many speeches before. We've heard beautiful promises before, but nothing has happened. Our lives haven't changed yet because these are legitimate concerns, because there are truth to those things. What we're here to offer you, from the farm to the pharmacy in Monrovia, from the plumber to the politician at Capitol Hill, I want to call upon you that this is a new movement that is not about any individual. Our ideas, our ideologies are about truly, we say, social we are social democrats. By that we mean we truly care about people. We want to give back. Social policy, social protection, those kinds of things. At the same time, we're pragmatic. What are the practical problems that the country needs today? Is it education? Is it roads? Is it healthcare? Or is it reconciliation? Or is it just the electricity, power, new sources of energy, or addressing energy, environmental crisis, the environment, climate change? What is it that is holding Liberia back? We're here to say we've brought new ideas, but not just ideas, not talks. We're not about power. We want to be about and for the people. We're not about status, chairman, and somebody yelling, battle crash. No, we are about service. In service, we want to be a year-round party that goes to the farm, that encourages agricultural, creating value chains to employ our young people so they can have opportunities, so they can go to school, get an education, don't be pimping riders around town the whole time after high school, no hopes, no dreams. We're saying the PAP will not always present the best ideas, will not always be, perfect, but we've borrowed ideas that have worked in other countries, in other contexts. We want to try it in our country. We want you to join us. We're sincere, we're honest. Our pledge to you is we will be sincere, we'll be honest. We'll advance clean politics. We'll try to be honest and sincere with you and work on the problems that we see happening in our country, what we think will lift people up. Is it job? Is it housing? Is it healthcare? Is it education? Is it the rules? These are the things that we're bringing to you. And we want to invite everybody, those who have never joined any political parties before, never been active in politics, because people have said that to me. I've never been a member of any political party, they say. But I like what I'm hearing from the PAP and about the PAP, and therefore they join us. We invite those people. We invite those too who are in active engagement with other political parties, but they don't meet their ideals, their values, their mission and vision for Liberia. Renounce your membership in our party. Join us. We call on Moribund or other political parties to align with us, to merge with us. And if they believe and buy our ideas, they think that we're honest, we're doing the right thing, we're open to coalition, we're open to working together, binding and building institutions that solve problems for our country, that will advance the future of our country. This is our pledge, and this is our call to the Liberian people.
Thank you, Mr. Sirleaf, for sharing your insights and plans for the proposed PAP. And thanks to our listeners for tuning in tonight. As Liberia stands at a crossroad, it is crucial for all voices and visions to be heard. We encourage everyone to remain engaged, ask questions, and participate actively in shaping the future of our nation. Have a great evening, and from all of us at Focus on Liberia, we say thank you. We are all Liberians. Have a good night, and God bless you.
We are Liberians. Liberia is our home.